What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, the diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and welcome to another episode of Dear Mental Illness. In this series, I break down subscriber stories and tell you what I think about them, give you the perspective of a diagnosed narcissist. Today, we have an interesting story about a daughter who, gave up her college and her future for a toxic narcissistic person. So stay tuned, like and subscribe for more. So welcome back, y'all. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't. Sign up for my newsletter at mentalhealness.net. Check it out and whatnot. We had a mom send this story in about her daughter. Oh goodness, y'all, this is a powerful story. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen. We're gonna hop right into it. So my now 31-year-old daughter has been involved with this man for 6 years now. She had a 5-year-old son prior to their relationship. They have 2 small daughters together right now. They are married. In the beginning, the love bombing was like crazy, but there were definite signs immediately. Before they lived together and got married, he would go MIA several times with lame and ridiculous excuses. In the beginning, my daughter had a full scholarship to a very prestigious college and were living 7 hours apart. She never entered school as they met the summer before she was to attend school. Oh goodness. Her and my grandson moved to where he lived in a house that her father owned. Shortly after moving in, my daughter contracted herpes, which he blamed on her. Shortly thereafter, she found a bottle of medicine that he had hidden in his underwear drawer that was over a year and a half old, confirming he had the virus. Ooh, goodness. He cried, threw a fit, and begged for forgiveness and said, "Well, we both have it now, so no one would ever date us. So let's get married." Our entire family begged her not to, but of course she did. Then came the verbal and emotional abuse towards my 5-year-old grandson that was not his. Still, she stayed. Then they had their first daughter, and he refuses to not sleep with her. Like, she's 3 years old now, so they still in the bed with a 3-year-old. They recently had daughter number 2, who's 2 months old. Now, due to his work history, he convinced her to move into his parents' home to save money. Currently, they live in a home where both his parents and siblings exhibit the same toxic behavior. So it's the entire family controlling my daughter and the 3 children, to the extent where there are cameras in every room, phone calls are monitored, gas and money, yes, controlled. And yep, you guessed it, she cannot have contact with her family any longer. I have tried everything, getting her counseling, which he vetoes, trying to play nice to him, at least check on my daughter and the kids. Being around him and his antics actually make my skin crawl, but I fear for my daughter and the kids, so I endure his presence. Her self-esteem, self-worth, and power is gone. She is a shell of what she used to be in a short time. I have suggested at least watching your podcast. He forbids it. I watch and read anything I can get my hands on to not only educate myself, but to maybe find another angle to reach her. But she's in this daze constantly. Our family is powerless and completely devastated. She no longer is able to come to any of our family functions. I will not give up. Our family lost her sister at age 16 in a car accident, so losing another child is unbearable. What else can you suggest? I've ran out of ideas. Loving her and the children from afar, and the worry daily is breaking me. Thank you for your time. Ooh, y'all, goodness gracious. I got some ideas coming up, so here comes the breakdown, y'all. So welcome back, y'all, and it's time for the breakdown. There's a lot of moving pieces here, but we're going to hop right into it, y'all. So, number 1. Definite signs immediately. So when you first meet people, the love bombing phase is going to be intense, y'all. It absolutely is. When a narcissist love bombs you, they're going to come to you as the person that you've been praying for, the person that you've been wanting and needing, the person you've been asking God to send you, or whoever, you know what I mean, in a dynamic and things like that. But you said like there were definite signs immediately, so that means there were red flags there. If it doesn't feel right, y'all, it's not right. Your intuition is there to protect you. Your intuition is there to keep you from walking off a cliff or keep you from getting into a toxic relationship. So many people bury their intuition and second guess themselves, and the narcissistic person is a good convincer. They're giving you everything that you want and need. Why would you question this? They're supposed to be a good person and things like that. But I say, if it feels wrong, it is wrong. Then ignoring the red flags could ruin your life. Number 2 says before marriage, he used to go MIA and things like that. So yeah, he was definitely out here cheating. And coming up with, get out your mouth like that. Don't do that. Get out your mouth. Sorry, my son is in here. There were definite red flags before the marriage and things like that. definitely out here cheating, making up ridiculous excuses, and of course, like saying like the daughter just believes them. You know, why wouldn't I believe them? Why wouldn't I believe these excuses? They sound reasonable. One thing I tell you, what a lot of people do when you're dealing with narcissists and toxic people, sociopaths, whatever, you let them talk too much. They get to talking, and then you get to believing. They're gonna say something that you believe that makes sense, and they're gonna harp in on that right there. You know what I mean? And typically when they get caught cheating or they making up crazy excuses, they're gonna make you feel guilty about not believing them. They're gonna make you feel crazy and guilty and gaslight the steam off of you. They have you in this dazed state. And remember the dazed state, that's important in the end, y'all. Number 3, y'all, goodness gracious. Let me move back to number 2 real quick. It doesn't get better with marriage. All this stuff happened, the cheating and the disappearing happened before marriage. And a lot of people think that if you add things to a relationship, it makes it better. If we add a house, if we add a kid, if we add marriage, it'll make the relationship better. It absolutely will not. If you're dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person, it'll actually make the relationship worse because they feel like they have you trapped now. They feel like you have you entangled more than ever and things like that. You know what I mean? So point number 3 now. Had a full scholarship but gave it up for love. Oof, boy, that right there is a rough one right there, y'all. Just giving up a full scholarship to prestigious college for, it seems like a bum dude that doesn't have anything to offer. Like in the end, they end up living with his family to save money. It just, right there, y'all, that right there, you can look back on moments like that and just feel like I regret every decision I made. But if you give up certain things for love, you feel like you have to stay committed to the love. I gave up a full ride to a prestigious university for love, so I have to stay committed to this love, or I wasted my life. You know what I mean? I made a huge mistake. So you don't want to, so in situations like that, people tend to stay in toxic relationships because you feel like if you leave, you made 2 mistakes. Now you lost out on the original opportunity and you lost out on love of your life. Manipulation works crazy, y'all. So number 4 says moved in and got herpes. He blamed her for it. Yep. But eventually she found a pill bottle saying that he already had it. So I'm gonna show you how evil people are, y'all. That man intentionally gave this woman herpes. You know what I mean? In order to keep her trapped to him. Because he said, listen to the excuse. Well, we both have it now. No one else is gonna want you. And that happens so many times, y'all. Some narcissistic people some of them will absolutely give you an STD on purpose to make you feel entrapped to them. Because he knew he had it. And he still had it unprotected, doing it unprotected with her and gave it to her intentionally to keep her there. That's evil. That is absolute evilness, y'all. You know what I mean? Are all narcissists evil? No. But there's people who do stuff like this, that's intentional evil stuff right there, y'all. And then, marriage will fix us. He begged and pleaded for forgiveness after blaming her, y'all. He blamed her for her getting herpes. You know what I mean? You could have left me earlier when I was disappearing on you, but you didn't. So it's your fault. You could have left. They'll convince you that it's your fault that you're cheating. They'll convince you that it's your fault you got herpes, even though you aren't sleeping with anybody else but them. You had it already, but she found out against that. But then like everybody said, don't marry him. But guess what? The manipulation is strong, y'all. We both have herpes. Nobody else is going to want you. You can't get rid of it. You might as well marry me. Got married. Then next thing you know what I mean? Yep, marriage will fix it. Number 6 says emotional abuse towards the son that isn't his. That happens absolutely all the time. Where narcissistic people will abuse their step kids and things like that and treat them horribly, which is terrible, y'all. And that, you said she still stayed even after he started emotionally and verbally abusing her 5-year-old son, which just kind of shows you the mindset that some people have, that they will let their kids endure a lot of trauma and things like that for love. Like, well, he needs a dad in his life, so I'm gonna let you do this right there. So I would like to know where his actual father is at, and that's because that's horrible. Because that son is gonna grow up and feel like he's gonna need some therapy, honestly. Because he's gonna blame the mom too. Hopefully he gives up her, But gave you 2. Number 7 says gave you 2 kids, made her feel more trapped. Yep, you got herpes, a marriage, 2 babies. You gave up your college career. Now you definitely 100% feel trapped now. 1,000,000%. Now you're trapped. 2 kids. I don't know if you're working or whatever. You 2 kids, not working. You depended on him and his family and things like that. So number 8 says you moved into the parents' house. So this is the part where it gets interesting, y'all. The 2 kids made her feel trapped, but number 8 is going to take a whole different dynamic. Because so number 8 says moved into parents' house with a lot of toxic behaviors, isolation, and more control with the cameras. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like cult behavior. So I feel like the mom, if you're watching this, You need to look up books about dealing with cults and breaking the mindset of somebody that is in a cult, because it sounds like your daughter who's in a trance, because the next step says she lost her identity. You mean things like that, cut off from her family. No, she can't go to therapy. Cut the cult mentality replaces your conscience. So it seems like that family is a cult hive, and they've replaced her actual conscience, and they're doing the thinking for her. They're living her life for her, and things like that. So I feel like in these circumstances, you need to look up how to break getting somebody out of a cult, because the mindset that she's in right now is very, very cultish. I feel like narcissistic people is like a hive. If both parents and the siblings are toxic in their household, and also him who's toxic in their household, now you're in a cult. You know what I mean? Look up, as I Googled it too. Look up books in a cult. Eyes Wide Open. The Mountain Is You. Combating cult mind control. Because a lot of narcissistic people together can create this cult mindset with people who are not part of their family dynamic. You know, everybody exhibiting these toxic behaviors, you fall into it as well. You fall into the line as well. So narcissistic people, my recommendation is definitely look up books on how to break the person, how to help somebody leave a cult. Because yes, they could very well be narcissists, but a lot of narcissists together can create this cult mindset and this hive mindset where everybody is thinking the same thing. Everybody allows the cameras, everybody allows the control and things like that to happen. So in that situation right there, you feel like, this is more of a cult mindset, Bob. So that's the end of the story right there, y'all. If y'all want to send the story in, whatnot, I try to do 1 or 2 of these a week and whatnot. Send it to Dear Mental Illness and keep it short and sweet like this one was, y'all. This is short and sweet to the point. I wish this mom the best, and helping her daughter out, and definitely getting that oldest son out of there, because that's horrible. You helping her daughter, regain her life and whatnot, because 31 years old, you still got a lot of life to live at that age. But dearmentalillness@gmail.com. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Dear Mental Illness. Like and subscribe for more. Peace.